What I did go for, as you can see, is the Taiwanese fried chicken sandwich. Let's try this out real quick. Or it could be dangerous to have this in the neighborhood. Sabaidee dudes and dudettes. If you're anything like me, this not recession happening right now in the world has actually been kind of a pain in the ass. And in New York, that's really taken a toll on the kind of cuisine that you get every day. But again, it doesn't matter because we're totally not in a recession. At least that's what I read on Reddit. Regardless of all that, a person still has to eat, don't they? Lucky for me, I do live in New York City. And one could argue some of the best cuisine in the city is the lower budget fare. So today, let's try to accomplish a couple of things. Number one, let's try to find a new spot in my also new neighborhood of Long Island City. And number two, I really want to satisfy this craving and see what all the hype is around Taiwanese cuisine. Thankfully, there's a restaurant in the neighborhood that fits the bill that I've been seeing a lot of hype around. It's called Yumpling. I think that means a yummy dumpling. Yumpling was actually a very famous food truck in Queens that has now turned into a brick and mortar restaurant during the pandemic. So for those of you wondering what Taiwanese cuisine is, it's kind of a hybrid of some Szechuan Chinese cuisine and Japanese ingredients. During the 40s and 50s of China, there was a diaspora where a lot of the citizens left to the island of Taiwan, and they kind of brought along their cuisine and then also used the ingredients that were available to them. So it's made this really unique flavor that is often less spicy and more sweet and just like a little bit more balanced, I would say, than typical Chinese cuisine. All right, so now that we've chosen our restaurant Yumpling, let's check out the hype and see what others are saying. So the first thing you see on Google reviews is 3 strapping young Asian lads. I really appreciate that, trying to get the thirst trap going for those ladies with yellow fever. Nice, good pictures of Yumplings. Wow, that's a crazy looking chicken sandwich. Hannah, the battered cod rice bowl was my fave dish. The fish was buttery soft and nice crunch to it. The spicy fried chicken burger was fire. No emoji? I trust this person even more. The sauce tasted so good with the chicken and the bun was soft. Everyone talks about soft buns. Kind of seems sexual. Their sesame garlic cold noodles were refreshing and I left feeling stuffed. Also sexual. Ruby C. All the food I tried, straight up 10 out of 10. Damn, okay. That leaves no room for improvement. Unlike other fancy fusion ice spots, they take your taste buds of Taiwan with the authentic recipe and friendly service. They played J. Joe's music in store, which brought nostalgia millennium vibes. LOL. I don't know who J. Joe's. I imagine he's some sexy Taiwanese singer. Peter H. Our favorite Taiwanese restaurant so far. So far? Wow, this guy's gonna check them all out. We loved it so much that we came twice. Me too. Despite being in New York for just under a week. Wow, I mean, New York's got so much food. Going to one place twice. I don't know if I recommend that. Oh, okay. Now we're getting into some negative stuff. Rick H. Place claimed to be a Taiwanese restaurant, but when I ordered duo hua, or tofu pudding, it came with ginger syrup, which Taiwanese do not use ginger in the syrup. Please stop claiming it's a Taiwanese restaurant. The authenticity thing is real amongst Asian people. We love to hate on stuff that's not like perfectly accurate. CYC. As a Taiwanese, like I said, you gotta be super authentic to your peoples. As a Taiwanese, I am not impressed. Minced pork is my home cook level. Parenthetical, not good. Mijan. I ordered the eggplant dish last year and I got food poisoning. Wait, what? Someone's writing a review of something they ate last year. Revenge is a dish best served cold. I ordered again thinking maybe it's better this time. Well, I mean, right? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Okay. Maybe it's better the second time around. But I got food poisoning again! Dude, that's 2 for 2 food poisoning. I recommend you don't order this again. This time, my friend who ordered the same dish got sick as well. Not only are you getting food poisoning, but you're recommending the food poisoning dish to your friends. Like, it's not enough for me to suffer. I just want everyone to suffer with me. I will never order from this place again until next year, where I check it out to see if I get food poisoning a third time. All right, we've seen all the hype we need to see. I'm excited despite the claims of multiple food poisonings. I think maybe I'll avoid that dish, but let's go to Yumpling and get some lunch. So Yumpling's located in Long Island City, which is accessible by the 7 or the G train. And one of the coolest things about the area is Gantry State Park, which is this beautiful walkway that just gives you an amazing view of Manhattan. And, you know, it's a great place to, you know, drink a beer or have a run or just hang out with your friends or family. So it's something I do on a daily basis now that it's my new neighborhood. It's actually the fastest growing neighborhood in New York as well. So there's a ton of development and it's probably gonna change dramatically over time. With the fastest growing neighborhood means there's a lot of construction going on, which is kind of cool to see. And don't forget to check out the vintage Pepsi sign that's a restoration from the 1940s. It's actually a national landmark. Obviously a very good selfie opportunity alongside the amazing views of the skyline of Manhattan. I'm more of a Coca-Cola fan myself, but I don't think LIC is balling out hard enough to get that kind of sponsorship. Well, that's enough about sugar water. I haven't eaten all day, so let's go in and get some food. Now that we're inside, you probably want to know what the vibe is like. If I'm being honest, it's very casual. It's a nice way to put it. I think this is more of a takeout spot, literally and figuratively, than a place you'd want to come and sit down or, you know, take someone on a date. One thing I forgot to mention about LIC is it is a very family-friendly place. So I was sat next to a family, and it was quite loud and, you know, chaotic if you know people with kids, and it's usually not my favorite kind of dining experience. So I don't know if I would come back here to sit and eat. I'd probably just get takeaway. All right, so there's like a lot of really interesting stuff on this menu. Some stuff I didn't order, and of course the big omission here is I didn't get any Yumplings. So what I did go for, as you can see, is the Taiwanese fried chicken sandwich. I also got the beef noodle soup, and the beef noodle soup is kind of one of the classic street foods that you would get in Taiwan. And then lastly, I always get a veg. So they have a edamame and tofu salad that I've seen on some menus like Winsong Bakery. So I wanted to see what their rendition was. So anyway, let's check out the food and see how it is. Lastly, forgot, I got a Taiwanese beer. I've never had it. It's the classic. Let's try that first. Interesting. Yeah, it has rice in it, and you can definitely tell it's like a little bit sweet. It's got that rice hit to it, but it's a nice, clean, light beer. Taiwanese chicken sandwich, which basically what makes it Taiwanese, my understanding is they put MSG in the breading, which sounds amazing to me as a lifelong Asian. I have no aversion to MSG. It also has some basil on it and a basil aioli. So yeah, let's try this out real quick. It's a really amazing piece of chicken. It's like super fatty but moist, and a super crunchy outside. So this is a really satisfying bite. And really what sets it off is this really soft bun. It just like fits it perfectly. The basil aioli really complements the saltiness of it by giving it some creaminess and a little bit of freshness. So I can see why they did that. But really, I think the star of the show is the preparation of the chicken is just like so juicy and moist while still having like a really crispy outside. Or it could be dangerous to have this in the neighborhood. Let's check out this beef noodle soup next. Wow, the noodles are like perfectly cooked. They're like super bouncy. You got a great bite to it. And then the broth has like 5 spice. The broth is like so insanely good, like very umami, but it's also super balanced too. Like there's a sweetness to it that I didn't expect. I've never had a beef noodle soup that tastes like this. Usually it's very just savory and doesn't have like this roundness to it, but this is super well balanced. Let's have a piece of beef. They don't specify what the beef is, but I'm sure it's some like lower cut of steak, but it appears to be braised, which is good. Wow. So it's definitely braised for a very long time. It just falls apart. It's super, again, balanced. There's like a lot of fat to it, but there's still a really good chew to the meat as well. It's just really good. A soft boiled egg with some yolk in there. It's a soft / hard boiled egg. If you're into it, you're into it. I don't really think it adds anything. It's still nice to have for visual presentation though. So whatever techniques they're using on the meat at Yumpling, they're like just really respectful, right? Like this is what you want when you come to a restaurant. You want the consistency, and then you want things to be cooked well. If you're not in the flavors, I actually don't hold that against restaurants as much as just having some pride and like using really good technique every time you come here. And this is like the first time I come here, and everything's just cooked really well and put together really well. Lastly, let's do the edamame salad. So it's just edamame and tofu marinated in 5 spice and some pickled veg too. I don't know what it is. I know it's like a big Chinese thing. I don't personally remember what it is. I've been told many times, but yeah, let's check this out. It's like my favorite kind of Asian side dish. You could argue it's like one note, but the one note is just so addictive. It's like a very clean taste. You're biting like really nicely cooked edamame, and then there's just enough going on with the 5 spice tofu and the pickled, especially the pickled veg in here. It just makes it like so addicting to eat. It almost feels healthy. Maybe it is. So let's rate what we had, right? Let's start with the chicken sandwich. I say for me, I really like the freshness of it. The aioli might be a little bit too much for some people. It might detract from like what a traditional chicken sandwich is, but that's why I really like it. What puts it over the top is the preparation, how juicy it is with still being very crunchy and crispy. So I shouldn't have got it spicy. I think there's a little heavy-handed with whatever powder they put on there, chili powder, and it's not for me. But I think if I got the regular one, I think I'd be a little bit more satisfied with it. And then also, I'd probably put some sriracha on it if I'm being honest, just because I love sriracha. The beef noodle soup, that's like the perfect thing. I think because it is kind of in the middle of summer, maybe it wasn't the right time to get it, but I think just the seasoning of the broth is just so perfect and on point. And again, the technique of how they cook the beef is just so good that I just don't know if you can do anything better to this dish. I would not add sriracha to this. That's probably the dish I would get if I was coming back here all the time. Health reasons notwithstanding. And lastly, this edamame salad, I think it's just like a perfect side accompaniment. If you're a person like me that always gets a veg when they're eating or makes your own veg, then I think this is the perfect side dish. I think for most people though, they probably would find it like maybe a little bland. They might not get it. So I ate 3 dishes by myself, as I typically do, and drank a beer. So I'm pretty stuffed. But let's get out of here and do a proper review. Oh, I ate so much food I had to change my shirt. I totally didn't record this on a different day. So you know the rules. If you buy into the hype, you must leave some hype. Let's go ahead and review Yumpling. What's hype? Great preparation of ingredients and unique and spot-on flavors. If this is a celebration of Taiwanese cuisine, then I'm partying at Yumpling. What's not hype? I would only dine in here if I was babysitting my nephews or if the weather was terrible. It really is not a fun environment to eat in. The chicken sandwich, 4.5 out of 5. If you have a Taiwanese cow for a friend, it would say duo chi chicken. I was told chicken might sound like hook. I'm talking about chicken, the bird. Beef noodle soup, 5 out of 5. So good, you'll suffer through the soup sweats in summer for it. Edamame salad, 4 out of 5. A hearty and savory snack that's way more addicting than it has any right to be. Whew, okay. That was my review of Yumpling. I think I need to go run or take a nap. Probably take a nap. Just remember, everyone, you can't trust any reviews you read online. Sometimes you gotta bite the hype for yourself. If you'd like to see my take on other New York City cuisine, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. Until our next meal, peace from the Far East.